I stared at that notification for like 10 minutes. $247. I didn't work extra hours for it. I didn't sell anything. I didn't do anything. The money just grew while I was sleeping. And that's when I realized everything I learned in the last video, that got me stable. But this is what builds actual wealth. If you watched Chapter 1, welcome back. You already know the 4 secrets that pulled me out of the broke on 75K nightmare: paying myself first, killing credit card debt, building my emergency fund, tracking every dollar. Those 4, they stopped the bleeding. But I was still working for my money. What I'm about to show you are the 5 things that made my money start working for me. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You can budget perfectly, you can save aggressively, you can track every single penny, and you'll still never be wealthy. Because saving protects you. Investing builds you. 3 years ago, I had $15,000 in savings, and I felt rich. Today, that same $15,000 in investments has turned into $22,000. Same money, different strategy, $7,000 of difference, and I didn't lift a finger. So in this video, I'm breaking down the other 5 secrets, the ones most people never learn because they think investing is for rich people. It's not. Let's do this. My $8,000 mistake that I thought was investing. So this one's embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I used to be really into sneakers, like really into them. Limited edition Jordans, Off-White collabs, Yeezy drops. I'd wake up at weird hours to try and cop releases, and I'd tell myself, and my girlfriend, who was definitely not convinced, "Babe, these are investments. These appreciate in value. Look at stock. This pair is already up 30%. Over 2 years, I spent about $8,000 on shoes. I had them all displayed in my closet with these special containers. They looked sick. My friends were jealous. Fast forward to last year, I need money for my emergency fund, so I'm like, okay, I'll sell some shoes. This is what they're for. You know what that $8,000 collection was worth when I actually tried to sell it? About $3,000, maybe $3,500 if I was patient and found the right buyers. I lost $5,000 on shoes. And then, because I hate myself apparently, I did more math. If I'd put that same $8,000 into an S&P 500 index fund 2 years earlier, it would have been worth about $11,000. So instead of being up $3,000, I was down $4,500. That's a $7,500 difference. So I'm not saying don't have hobbies. I'm not saying don't enjoy your money. Life's not about dying rich. It's about living happy. But ask yourself this: is this hobby bringing me closer to freedom or pushing it further away? Because I was spending hundreds on shoes while telling myself I couldn't afford to invest $100 a month. My priorities were completely backwards. Now, I still buy sneakers sometimes, but only after my investments are handled, after I've paid myself first. Lifestyle comes after wealth building, not before. That's the order. The saving trap that kept me stuck. By 2023, I thought I'd figured it out. I had my emergency fund. I was saving $500 every month like clockwork. My savings account was growing. I felt responsible. I felt like I'd made it. Then I made the mistake of doing long-term math. If I kept saving $500 per month for 30 years in my savings account, earning 1% interest, I'd have about $209,000. That sounds pretty good, right? That sounds like success. But then I checked what would happen if I invested that same $500 per month in index funds. Average 8% annual return over 30 years. $745,000. I had to check the calculator like 4 times because that didn't seem possible. That's over $500,000 of difference. Same exact money, different location. And that's when I understood you cannot save your way to wealth. Saving is defense. It protects you. It gives you stability. You need it for your emergency fund. But after that, just saving is leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. There's a limit to how much you can save. You can only cut expenses so far. But there's no limit to how much you can earn and grow. So I split my strategy. Emergency fund, 6 months. High-yield savings account, safe. accessible. Everything else, invested. Index funds, working for me, growing. Because money sitting in a regular savings account is actually losing value. Inflation's eating it alive. Money in the market? That's compounding. That's multiplying. That's working while you sleep. Saving protects you. Investing builds you. You need both. The bill I didn't know I was overpaying. Here's something nobody tells you. Taxes are probably going to be your biggest lifetime expense. Not your house, not your car, not your student loans. Taxes. And I was just accepting whatever came out of my paycheck. I'd look at my W-2 at the end of the year, shrug, and move on. Meanwhile, I was obsessing over saving $3 on eggs. Then my friend who's a CPA was like,
Dude, do you have an accountant?
"No, I just use TurboTax."
You're freelancing on the side, right? Writing.
"Yeah, like $800 a month."
And you're not deducting your home office?
He connected me with his accountant. Cost me $400 for a consultation. She found home office deduction I'd been missing, $1,200 per year. I wasn't maxing my 401k, missing out on tax-deferred growth, $2,800 per year saved. I qualified for an HSA, health savings account. I didn't know existed, $1,200 per year saved. A bunch of small business deductions from my freelancing, $600 per year, total first-year savings, $5,800. That $400 consultation made me $5,800. That's a 1,350% return. And here's the thing. I'm not even doing anything shady. This is all completely legal. It's just understanding the system. Rich people don't pay less in taxes because they're cheating. They pay less because they understand the rules and use them. Every dollar you legally save on taxes is a dollar that can grow for you instead of disappearing into government bureaucracy. You don't need to be a tax expert. You just need to talk to one. That was the best $400 I've ever spent. The 3 years I waited and lost $10K. I'll start investing when I have more money. I'll wait for the market to crash, then buy in. I need to learn more first. I don't know enough yet. These were my excuses from 2019 to 2022. 3 full years of waiting for the perfect time. My friend Jake, he started investing in 2019, same age as me. Actually made less money than me. He just started putting 100-month into VOO, Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund. By 2024, he'd invested $6,000 total. His account was worth $8,400. He made $2,400 just by starting. If I'd started the same day, the same exact day, I'd have the same thing. But I waited. For the right time. For the perfect entry point. For when I knew enough. That perfect time never came. And those 3 years, they didn't just cost me $2,400. They cost me compound growth on that $2,400 for the next 30 years. That's probably another $10,000 plus I'll never get back. Time in the market beats timing the market. I'm saying it again. Time in the market beats timing the market. I finally started in 2023. Just $200 per month. Automatic. Into a simple index fund. Do I wish I'd started in 2019 every single day? But you know what? The second best time to start is right now. Not next month. Not after you learn more. Not when you have enough. Now. Even if it's $10 a week. Even if it feels stupid. Even if you don't know what you're doing. Just start. Future, you will be so grateful. Why I was still broke, the real reason. Here's the truth I didn't want to admit. I stayed broke because I stopped learning. I thought I knew enough. I had a degree. I'd taken finance classes. I understood the basics. But the basics from 2015 aren't the same as the basics in 2025. High-yield savings accounts went from 0.5% to 5% in like 2 years. I didn't know. Roth IRAs have completely different rules than traditional IRAs. I didn't know. You can negotiate your salary way more than I thought. I didn't know. Index funds have different expense ratios that matter over time. I didn't know. All this information was free. YouTube, podcasts, books from the library, Reddit communities. but I wasn't looking for it. I'd convinced myself I already knew what I needed to know. Now, I spend 30 minutes every single day learning about money. Not in a weird, obsessive way, just reading articles, watching videos, listening to podcasts on my commute. And literally every week I learn something that either makes me money or saves me money. Last month I learned about treasury bonds, switched $5,000 from my savings, now earning 5.3% instead of 1%. That's $215 per year extra, from 30 minutes of learning. Financial education isn't taught in schools, so you have to teach yourself. The people who stay broke are the people who stop learning. Don't be that person. Okay, real talk. 3 years ago, I was making 75Ks and I was broke. Today, I make basically the same amount, maybe a bit more. Nothing crazy, but my life is completely different. Emergency fund, $15,000 and fully funded. Credit card debt, 0. Investment account, growing automatically every month. Net worth, up over 300%. Same salary, different habits. I'm not special. I'm not some genius. I don't have a secret. I just fixed these 9 things. Started paying myself first 10% minimum. Killed my credit card debt and changed how I use credit. Built a real emergency fund, 6 months minimum. Start tracking every single dollar. Cut expensive hobbies that were draining me. Learn to save and invest, not just save. Understand my taxes and minimize them legally. Start investing now instead of waiting for perfect. Never stopped learning, 30 minutes per day minimum. That's it. That's the whole list. None of this is complicated. None of it requires a finance degree. It just requires being honest with yourself and changing the order of operations. I'm not rich yet. I'm not retired. I'm not living in a mansion. But I'm not broke anymore. And that 3 days before payday panic where I'm calculating if I can afford groceries, that's gone. And honestly, that's priceless. If this video helped you at all, if even one of these things clicked, hit that like button and subscribe. Because next week, I'm breaking down my actual investment portfolio. Every fund I own, how much I put in, and why I chose them. The real numbers, no BS. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you stop being controlled by money and you start controlling it. Let's get there together. Thank you.